and welcome to the Latino Business Journey podcast. I'm your host, Michael Puente. Today we got a big wig talking about the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. They've been around a long time. We're going to talk a little bit about the history and the services they provide and what's for the future, and welcoming the president and CEO of the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Jaime Di Paulo. Jaime, welcome.
Thank you, Michael. I love that big wig. I wish I had a wig.
That's right. Well, Jaime, first of all, just trying to catch up everybody. How long has been the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce been around?
We're going on 32 years this year, so
Wow.
We've been around for a while.
And over that time, how has the service must have changed over that time with the businesses you serve and the services you have?
Yeah, obviously our community has been changing because the times, our community has been growing. It's a huge need for empowering Latino businesses, as you could tell with the interviews you've been doing. So our job as a chamber is make sure we empower our community so we have success and create employment and job opportunities and generational wealth that everybody talks about, but nobody really talks about what you need to do to create generational wealth. And that's what we're here to address at the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, tell me, over the years, I'm sure the chamber has changed a little bit with not only the membership, but with the services you have. How does the chamber help businesses today?
Well, we are a very unique Chamber of Commerce. We obviously we're a membership driven organization. We have events, we have great parties, we do business to business events, we introduce people to business. But we see the need to empower our community, so we have a series of programs nobody else does in the state of Illinois and arguably around the country. We partner with the federal government, state and local governments to give an opportunity for those small businesses have access to particular contracts, right? So we focus a lot of our work in government contracting because we see the need and the opportunity. People can grow their business and really scale those companies through a government contract.
So let's say I have a business, whether it's a small restaurant or a landscaping business or a construction business, small. What's the advantage of me joining the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce?
Well, the advantage is we help you get business, for example. We host this incredible breakfasts every couple months. So you have an opportunity to come, meet people, do business, because we figure out that the people do business in the morning, more than likely in the afternoon. The afternoon is more like a network event, like talk about how great the socks are or how bad the cups are, that kind of thing. But during the morning, you actually concentrate on doing business. So we do that peer-to-peer business coaching. We have incredible speakers. We have access to opportunities, access to capital. We partner with major banks, and we teach you how to do business with the right bank. We give you the curriculum. We help you get certified so you can have, as a minority-owned company, so you can have access to one of those incredible contracts. Because keep in mind, federal government or any government entity does not just build roads and bridges. They also buy bread. They also, they buy water for the schools. So we got to make sure our companies have access to those contracts.
A lot of people talk about the Latino community business-wise. Give us a catch us up. How big, how vast is this Latino population here in Illinois, especially the Chicago area?
Well, in Chicagoland, we just became the majority. Arguably, we're more than 30% if you count the ones uncountable, right? Mm-hmm. So we are the majority of the city of Chicago. So we got to make sure we have the political power to do that. We got to make sure we train our companies to create those opportunities for our youth to come up and create and train them, and so they become the future employers of the state of Illinois in Chicago. So our mission here is to empower the community to do just that.
Now, I know you brought some studies right here that you've done. Give us some of the numbers of what are we seeing here.
Well, it's amazing that our community, we're not creating generational wealth. We don't own our supply chain, and I think that's the key for our success, to create generational wealth, to empower our community, have access to everything abroad. So one of the studies I just showed you, Michael, is that for the Harvard University, they come out with these reports every year. So the study says that the city of Chicago is very uniform on all services. Every major area of opportunities is well balanced. But in the Latino community, is very high in construction and high in food. So, and everything else is very low. So we got to make sure as Chambers of Commerce encourage the young entrepreneurs to focus on those areas, there's huge opportunities. For example, technology, distribution, architectural, engineering, those kind of stuff. We need more of those so we can build our own supply chain. Otherwise, we're going to keep being the employees and the workers and the consumers. Doesn't do any good to be, the fifth largest economy in the world, Latinos in the United States. We don't have the economic power to do that. So we got to make sure we create our supply chain so we have access to those, those big contracts.
You were saying that the study also shows that it's very difficult at times for Latino-owned businesses, contractors to secure loans. Why is that?
Oh, this is the sad part. I mean, you got to learn how to bank with the right bank. Not every bank fits your needs as a business owner. So you got to make sure you shop around and make sure, for example, one of the advice I give to my businesses is like, make sure that when you open a bank account, make sure they assign you a business banker. Not all banks do that. It depends what your revenue is and what the mission of the particular bank is. So our chamber will help you find the right bank for you. But yeah, it's a known fact that Latinos or people of color has 60% less chances of getting that loan than a white counterpart. So it's an amazing stat, but it's reality. When people of color go to a bank to get a loan, they get asked for all these extra requirements. It's very, very hard to get. But our job here is to work in the legislative side also to make sure those things don't keep happening.
But what is it based on? From what you're telling me, what I'm gathering, people might be listening and say, is it based on racism or is it based on something else?
I just don't know how it is. I can't say it's racism because you're probably dealing with a Latino banker when they're doing that. But they just ask you for extra stuff they don't need to ask you, right? If you, for example, lately we've been working with credit unions and we find that credit unions have been kind of a little bit more open to because we are considered high risk, so I don't know where that comes from. But anyway, as a fact is, for example, I sit on a credit union board of directors, and 99% of the loans they give out to undocumented, they pay back. So so the high risk thing is not true. We pay our bills. So banks need to open up and give us an opportunity to get those exactly same loans. We're not asking for a handout. We're just asking for an opportunity, right? And why they got to put barriers into a Latino or even African American community? It's the same thing, So we got to make sure banks work with us. So that's why we do legislative stuff. We got people in Springfield. I do some work in federal side and the city of Chicago to make sure those things get balanced out and we address those issues.
You talked a little bit about the networking events, a breakfast, and meeting with other business owners. Tell me a little bit more about if I own a small businesses, what specifically services can I expect by joining the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce?
Well, first of all, our government contract stuff, we partner with the state of Illinois. We do some stuff with the federal government through the United States Department of Transportation. We do some stuff with Cook County. We do some stuff with the city of Chicago. Those are at no cost to you, right? The chamber side, the membership side is an opportunity to grow your business. For example, I get emails all the time, hey, I need introductions to this. Can you help me with this thing? So we have the resources. For example, we have people on staff that can help you build a website. For example, if you're a member, they can help you pick that particular bank you need. They can help you do all kinds of stuff for being a member of the chamber. So it pays to be a member. I mean, we like the backbone of your company. Latinos, businesses are very good in the front, but because they're too small, in the back room, the backside of the business is kind of in shambles. So we need organizations like us help you clear the back room, make it look good, right?
So, that's right.
It's true, man. Like when you go to a quinceañera store on 26th Street, it's all nice and pretty in the front, but you go in the back, try to go find a piece of paper.
Right. That's right. Let me ask you this. What are some of the success stories? Can you think of one or two businesses that have maybe recently joined or joined in the last couple of years that has kind of helped to elevate that business?
Well, we got thousands of, Latinos are very entrepreneurial. We have, for example, Los Comales. And this is a great story because, a lot of the issues we've seen on the community, Latino business communities, the storefronts are closing down. Not because the not because they lost money and they were going out of business. It's because the person that started that store retired. And the sons and daughters don't want to do anything with it. So they become vacancies, right? They don't know how to transition. So one of our jobs that we do at the chamber is train that particular business owner to leave the business to the person who's been working with them for 20 years, right? So that's one issue. And the other issue, Los Comales, for example, this is a family that started Los Comales, I don't know, 50 years ago, or 50, I think it was 50 years ago
50
last
years ago,
year, right?
right.
Man, they threw a big party. You should have seen that party they had there in the parking lot. But anyway, Don Camerino is a personal friend of mine too. He passed away a couple years ago, but he started Los Comales. And he had his own recipes. So the son and daughter are keeping the same thing. Mm-hmm. But now what they're doing is bringing technology into the mix. They're packaging tacos now. They're positioning the products on the shelves as grocery stores. So those are the kind of stories we like to hear, innovation stuff, because obviously without losing the original recipe. So that's the cool thing. And there's many companies like, you're going to interview another one tomorrow. Like GSG, that's another company, man. He'll tell his story. He started from nothing. He's been in business 30 years, so now he's he's doing prime work at the Illinois Tollway. This is a Latino organization. You have another one, Toro Construction, and it's a $50 million revenue 10 years ago. So our companies are growing. The ones that get over that 20 employees or more, they thrive. They create employment. When a small company grows, the community grows with you. So that's we tend to hire within our community. We don't lose out our HR. Our HR is our employees that bring their own people in to work for us. So, we don't have that issue of announcing a job position anywhere. We just ask our employee to, hey, you know anybody? So obviously we all do, no? So they all come to work for us.
Another company that, business we interviewed recently was Supermercado Martin, and they've only been in business since 2010. And I saw a video where you were talking a little bit about that supermarket, just how, they saw a need, they saw a niche where they were at on the Northwest side, and they decided to fill it. But it isn't just a supermercado of Mexican food, but it's from all around Latin America, and they have just developed.
I know. I mean, that's a good story there too. The wife and the guy that actually works is the husband. Teresa, she's out there, in front of the store, but they're not from Mexico, and they cater to Mexicans because they saw it in the opportunity because their neighbors are Mexican, so the majority of the products are Mexican, but without forgiving where they come from, and that makes it unique. That's the beauty of Chicago. Everybody comes from everywhere else, so you got to take care of everything. But Martin Supermarket is growing. I think they're like to 2 stores now, and they're about to open up a third one. So we're all excited, and the chamber did a lot for them. During COVID, everybody suffered, but through our resources, they were able to secure several loans to stay afloat. So that was a good thing. That's what the chamber does.
That is a word. I'm glad you brought it up about COVID, because people must be like, oh, I'm so sick of hearing that word already. We're over it. But it did force businesses to kind of change the way they operate, because so many of them either had to suspend operations, let go of employees, and then somehow regroup. How did the chamber, what was going on that time? And I'm sure the chamber had to regroup a little bit after COVID. How has the pandemic changed the way the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce does business?
Well, we were about to shut down, to close our doors. I mean, we had to do some layoffs and really re-strategize how we do business, because obviously our membership stopped.
Right.
Everything just came to a halt. So it was an eye-opener for us. For myself, really, that how we going to do this. And Cook County saved the day because they got some money from the feds. They begin to understand the value of small businesses, like, mom and pop shops. So they started influencing money into us so we can do technical assistance to them. And that's how we started to grow. And we prove, and everybody, the good thing about COVID, if there's anything good out of this, people understood the value of small businesses in the neighborhood, which was never done before. And everybody understood why you needed to go shop in that particular store in your neighborhood, why you had to spend $1 in the grocery store in your neighborhood. And that's what kept COVID alive. That's what kept businesses alive, because people understood the value of small businesses. And that's what happened. And all the resources started coming in. We started growing and growing and growing. So now we are a 30-man and women organization of the chamber, with a little bit over $7 million in our budget, when we were like $250,000 in the red not too long ago. This is all because people understood the value of small businesses. And what we do, we had the infrastructure and the programs to help with the technical assistance people needed to stay afloat.
Now, you're a statewide organization, correct?
We are.
So you're dealing with Latino-owned businesses from Chicago all the way down Southern Illinois?
Southern Illinois, Rockford, Aurora, Elgin, everywhere there's a Latino businesses, we're there somehow. We partner with many small chambers around the state that can go out there and do our work for us. Obviously, we can't do it all, but we got incredible partners out there that we actually help them with some funds so they can do the work, not for us, but so they can keep supporting Latino businesses in their communities.
I always like it when somebody will bring up that there's a Latino business in an obscure town or a city somewhere in Illinois, and you think there are Latinos there, but there are Latinos everywhere, correct?
I mean, it just takes one. That's how Chicago grew in Latinos. That's how you got, major Michoacanes here, because it took one. As I said before, we are our own HR people, so that one was asked to bring another friend to work there, and then they keep, hey, acá hay jale, vente.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have any members in Metropolis, Illinois, Homo Superman, way down the southern border of Illinois?
Oh, we got them all. I can show, there's a map right here. I mean, every little dot here is a business that we actually have worked with. We have, we have a taqueria in Springfield. We have a couple of restaurants there in Bloomingdale, right? Everywhere in the state of Illinois, there's a Latino business. I mean, as I said, they just need they don't do no market research. They just start a business because they feel like opening up a restaurant anywhere. Mm-hmm. And that's when chambers come in, because, in white America, you go there and do a study. You start counting the vehicles, see if it's feasible to open up a restaurant, traffic flow, all those things. Latinos, we just get that feeling and we just open up the business, right? And then we'll worry about the rest later. So that's when we come in.
But then that could be a disaster, right? You open up something and
it could be.
You're not sure where to go after that, supply chains. But the fact that you have members from throughout the state, and different parts of the state have different needs. So how do you balance what may be good for, say, taqueria in Little Village compared to the taqueria in Springfield?
Well, it's, the goods, for example. If you're too far away from Chicago, it's going to cost you more to get, for example, the tortillas from El Milagro, which is a great chamber member, right? So that kind of stuff. It's the goods, you become a little bit more expensive. A lot of the people come to Chicago and shop and then take it to their own restaurants, because this is what this is where the products come to the city of Chicago. But, they make it happen. I mean, we got people selling videotapes still.
Videotapes, right?
I mean, somewhere out there in Illinois, there's somebody selling videotapes. A Latino, they came out with the idea and is doing it. I mean, we are very entrepreneurial. We'll do anything to make it happen. So one of the things I teach my businesses is, look, in the United States, the beauty of the reason why the United States is so powerful economically is that people use other people's money. So what I tell my Latino businesses is, we got to learn how to use other people's money. In this case, is the banks. Don't let your patrimony ride on that business. And that's what happens. A lot of, you just mentioned it about going under, because a lot of our businesses open up a business with their own savings. They put out their houses, the education stuff, without thinking, I can have a loan and not risk my patrimony, So that's the key, really.
Where do you want to see the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce go from here? What's happening in the future? Everyone's talking about AI, artificial intelligence. Is that a part of the future for your organization, how it can work with businesses?
Well, Our office is at 1871, which is one of the largest business incubators in the world. We are very much involved in AI. In fact, we're about to launch this incredible AI platform. I truly believe, is going to revolutionize how small businesses has access to contracts, and I can explain in a couple of seconds. But basically, this tool that we are developing right now is called Corama, Contract Radar Maximizer. We found a niche and we getting ready. We were selected as one of the top 4 chambers in the world to present this particular idea in Geneva last summer. And we came back, we presented, it was well received. So we started developing this tool. Basically what it does is you give me a capability statement is what you do in one page, right? What a company is in one page. We run into the system, and the system will find you every contract you qualify for in seconds.
Wow.
That's pretty incredible. I think that nobody's doing this in the world. And this is through through a couple of the staff members of the chamber came up with this crazy idea. We just supported it, and here we go. So we're about to launch this in a few months, and obviously everybody here is going to get invited because we are going to revolutionize how Latino small businesses does business, gets access to contracts. I mean, this is an incredible thing, and I'm very excited about it because that's the future. Leveraging technology to access capital, to access businesses is the future of not just Latinos, of the world.
So they sign up for this. They find out which contracts they're eligible for in the city of Chicago, Illinois, or beyond.
I mean, right now we have a pilot program in Lake County because it's small enough so we can do a truly simple. But we are downloading the opportunities in the city of Chicago and hopefully through the country. I mean, it's going to take some time, but once you have that, for example, if you're a broadcaster, you give me a capability statement, and we'll find contracts in the country that you can probably apply for, right?
Wow. Okay.
In seconds, you don't have to do any research. Just give me that piece of paper who you are, and we'll take care of your future.
Oh, that's perfect for me. The less research, the better, right?
That's
Less
right,
homework.
man.
How when you come into work every day, it seems like you're coming in here, you got such a great attitude, so positive. Do you love your job? Do you love what you do?
I love my job. I'm always talking about my job. Everywhere I go, I have the chamber in front of me. It has brought me some issues at home because I'm so passionate about my job that I cannot leave the chamber anywhere. I always carry the flag of the chamber because I believe small business. I truly believe in small businesses. There's a lot of organizations, they do great stuff in education, immigration, health, and everything else. But there's very few that really take care of small businesses. So we're one of the few, and we're not going to leave that lane. Everything we do is related to growth and improvement of our business community.
Jaime, this summer we have the Democratic National Convention coming to Chicago. What opportunities does that provide to open up for Latino-owned businesses here in Chicago?
It's huge, Michael. I'm glad you brought it up. There's over 50,000 visitors going to be in town, for a small period of time. So it's incredible opportunities for not just people, construction, redeveloping United Center or McCormick Place, but we need caterers, we need facing people, we need security guys, we even need drivers. Everything you can think of, we need. And the DNC has opening up an opportunity for the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and everybody to apply and make sure you get access to those contracts. You don't even need to be certified as a minority-owned company. You just need to apply and make sure you identify yourself as a Latino, and you're probably going to get a call. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to get a contract, but it's our job to push the DNC to make sure the things balance out because, as I mentioned before, we are 30% of our community, so 30% of those contracts has to be for Latinos, and there's no less than that. So it is my job as a chamber, as Jaime Di Paulo, to push that and to move the needle, so making sure, our community is representing in those opportunities. And I talk to the DNC on a daily basis. Just today, I got an email. I apply for catering. So I'm going to make sure that the application gets to the right person. So at least get an interview, right? So it's an opportunity. Reach out. There's a website of the DNC you need to fill out. And once you do that, give us a call, send us an email. We'll make sure we get your name, to whoever needs to go, because we got to make sure 30% of those jobs go to Latinos in the city of Chicago.
DNC is just like one of the big events that always happen. Doesn't always happen. Obviously, going to happen this summer. But other events, you got NASCAR, you got the Chicago Bears, Cubs, White Sox events, concerts, Lollapalooza. Are there opportunities there for Latino
there's
businesses?
opportunities everywhere. I mean, just got to reach out. I mean, I'm always pushing the button. I'm always looking. I'm like the watch guard in this situation. For example, we have a festival called Sueños, right? It's a fully Latino blown event. So I got to make sure 80 or 90% of those contracts go to Latinos, because it's a Latino event. There's no reason why an Anglo is selling the beer. I mean, give an opportunity to a Latino to sell the beer. Don't sell hot dogs. Bring somebody from Los Comales to sell our food, right? This is our event. It's our music. And Lollapalooza is the same thing. We have our fair share of contracts there on Lollapalooza. The Bears, for example, the security company is a Latino-owned company. So there's opportunities. So just gotta keep your eyes open and reach out. At the airport, for example, right. With the new Terminal 5 and the restructuring of Terminal 2, there's huge opportunities for restaurants to go in there. But you just gotta be aware of these opportunities and reach out to us. We have the connections. We cannot guarantee you're going to get a spot there, but we're going to help you open the door and get your stuff together, because it's a huge application. So our job here is to make sure you go in there prepared to make your case, right? So we have had several wins at the airport. A couple of companies restaurants from the neighborhoods are going to be opening up at the airport because the advocacy we have done. McCormick Place is another one. There's huge need for restaurants there at McCormick Place. Mm-hmm. So reach out, and we've been working with some of the restaurants to get in there, and it's difficult, but that's what we do. We're here to help.
Well, Jaime Di Paulo is president and CEO of the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us today, Jaime.
Yeah, placer, and thank you.
Thank you. And you've been looking and listening to the Latino Business Journey podcast. Thank you, and hope to see you again.